In this video, we're going to look at vector journeys, and we're going to look at two-dimensional vector journeys only. Everything that we're doing here does apply in 3 dimensions. However, we're just going to keep it in 2 dimensions just now. What I have here is a parallelogram. So DC and AB are the same length in parallel. AD and BC are also the same length in parallel. So I know that D to C is parallel with A to B, and they're the same length. And I know that A to D and B to C are parallel and the same length. Now, a vector journey is always from one point on your shape to another. Now, the vector here, or the journey here it's looking for, is B to D. So I'm trying to get from the vector, or sorry, from the point B to the point D. Now, to do that, I need to stay and use the vectors that I have so far, or the lines that I have so far. So what I could do is I could go from B to A, and then I could go from A to D. So to get from B to D, I can say that B to D is the same as going from B to A, and then going from A to D. That's the same. Going from B to D is the same as going along here and then up here. Now, I need to write it in terms of U and V. Now, B to A, it doesn't have a vector there, U or V, but right back at the start, we said that BA and CD, or whichever way you want to call it, DC and AB, these lines are parallel and they're the same length. Now, remember, vectors only have a length and a direction. It doesn't have a place. So the vector U can be up here from D to C, but it can also be down here from A to B. So what I can say is that actually that vector going from B to A is the same as that vector going from C to D. So BA is the same as C to D. Now, this vector AD, I know that's V, so I can just keep that the same just now. Now, C to D, that's heading the wrong way along U, so that's a minus U. Now remember, that's a vector, so I have to put the little line underneath because I can't write in bold. And it's a negative because I'm heading the wrong way down it. And I'm going to add on A to D, now that's positive V. And there is the vector BD in terms of U and V. So it's negative U plus V. Now, it might seem quite faffy to be going through all these steps with B to A and A to D, but what they've actually found in the SQA over the last few years is students that are putting down these journeys and showing the progression actually on a whole get more marks than students that just jump straight to the answer. Okay, you're not going to be penalized if you don't have it, but it's good practice to get used to by putting in this journey here. So instead of just saying, well, I'm going to head here and then here, writing out, right? So I'm going from B to A, then I'm going from A to D. Okay, so it's a good habit to get into, to be writing that down every time. Now, we can extend this on a little bit. So I've got I have got a new question. It's to do with the same parallelogram. Now, M is in the middle of the parallelogram. So I've got this little point in here called M. And I need to get A to M in terms of U and V. So I'm essentially wanting to start here, and I'm looking to get to here. Now, this is one that you're going to have to use your imagination a little bit, okay? Because we can go off the lines. So this vector here, or this journey here, so A to M. Now, if it's the midpoint, so if it's halfway along, what I want to do is I want to travel halfway along this line A to B, first of all. So I say I want to travel half the way along AB. And then once I've traveled halfway along AB, I want to go halfway up. And now that's the same as this here, A to D. So I want to add on half of AD. Now, again, each part, this first one, AB, is called U. So I'm having a half of U. I'm going to add on a half. I'm heading in the positive V direction, so it's a half of V. Now, that is enough for your final answer. Now, some of these, when you're marking them, may look slightly different, okay? And essentially, it's just they can change around the U and the V. So I'll do it in a different color. This would be the same as a half of V plus a half of U. These are the same. What they could also do is they could also take out a common factor of a half. So it's a half of U plus V. Okay, all of these are the same. So you might see answers that are slightly different, but if you expand the bracket, or you can change them round. Okay, so some of your answers might be slightly different to the ones that they give in the questions that you're going to do, but just check to see if it's just a rearranging. If it's not, then please make sure you're asking a question in the assignment.